3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? It's another late night stream, Ash on Comics Live, Storytime stream, and glad to have you all with me. Hopefully you guys enjoy these streams. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy seeing your faces, even though I don't really see them. It's figurative speech, you know how it goes. To hang out and talk comics during the COVID, what do you call it? The Corona apocalypse. It's still going on. Drinking half Dr. Pepper, half Coca-Cola. I think I talked about this on a previous stream. Let's see. Melissa was first tonight, as she always is, but she cheats. She sneaks in, and she gets her little first thing, and then she apparently goes off to McDonald's. Oh, Melissa, I don't know if you can hear me, but I appreciate you. Let's see. Lost in Comics is also joined us, graced us with her presence. He says, "What's up, everyone? What's up, Ash? Good to see you guys. I haven't seen one of your streams in a while because you guys stream during a time when I'm not around. So it's unfortunate. I need to check you guys out more often. I wish, and we all had different time schedules and things. I'm kind of a late owl, if anyone didn't guess. Lord is here. I haven't seen you in a while, Lord. It says, hello, mortal. Tehillim here. Ed Brewer. Hey, you decided to grace us with your presence tonight, Mr. Ed. Ed is he's the person responsible for the content we'll be having tonight. So if you hate it, make sure to send all your hate mail and hate tweets and cancel Ed. Hashtag cancel Ed Brewer. Just kidding. but I'm not kidding. Really. But I am. It's a joke. Not really. Maybe. Dragon Majesty says, hello, everyone. Good to see you, buddy. Another regular. Ryuk224 is also... I'm glad to see you guys. To see YouTube notified me without anything going on. What? All right. So tonight we have a continuation of Tuesday night. It's a two-parter episode. We're doing... what are we doing? I don't even know. My memory's so bad. We're doing... it's really hard to do two things at once and manage the background while I'm trying to talk. We're doing Uncanny X-Men as the main event, and then we are also doing Astro City as the opening act, if you will. These are comics recommended. Well, actually, Astro City was recommended by Ed Brewer. 2 issues, 47 and 48. And then I figured we're doing 2 issues. I'll just pair it up with another great 2-issue run from my past of something that really means a lot to me in my childhood and my love of comics. And that is Uncanny X-Men 141 and 142, also known as Days of Future Past. I Am True Skills is here. What's up, Ash? What's up with you, buddy? Haven't seen you in a couple days, week. I don't know. Southern Comic Geek. Good evening, folks, he says. That's a name I'm not remembering. So either you're new to the channel or I'm senile. But welcome all the same. Good to see you. I like it when people participate in the chat. It makes it more inclusive, more of a hangout. Everyone should grab a beverage, make some popcorn, grab a snack, or if it's really late, maybe crawl into bed. I'm going to read a story. I'm drinking my leftover soda that I got at 7-Eleven on the way home from work. 7-Eleven's doing this great thing where it's 49-cent big gulps. But I had the free Slurpee because every July... 4th of July, I guess what it is. I don't know. They do a free Slurpee. For the whole month long, just you get it one time. You can redeem it. And I was like, yeah, today's the 30th. I better redeem this before I miss it. So it was perfect. It was a hot day, but I was like, I don't need a Slurpee and a Big Gulp. So I got a Big Gulp, 49 cents. I was like, I'll just put it in the fridge. Now I'm drinking it. And then I realized now that I'm drinking it, it's like, that was like 5 hours ago. It's a little flat. It still tastes good. Let's see. Join the cause to take Ash down, says Lord. Uh-oh. What did I do? What did I do? Let's see. What is going on in the world of Twitter? Let's find out. If I want to be taken down, I might as well look through social media and find out who's taking me down. What's this? Is that Archangel versus Hawkman? That's a pretty cool little commission piece there. Nice. Let's see. By the way, if you guys like Hawkman, then you guys should be following this guy right here, Tim Board, Hawkworld. It's at Hawkworld. He's like the Hawkman #1 fan. He has a lot of cool information about Hawkman. And if you don't like Hawkman, then you need to go read Venditti's Hawkman run starting at #1. And if you don't do that, then I just think you don't like comics. Let's see. What's going on? Oh, some cool Star Wars art here. Did you know the rotating cockpit design of the B-Wing was based on early concept art from the Millennium Falcon? The craft's thin shape was problematic for blue screen photography. The model tended to blend into the starfield. I think I remember hearing about this. They're originally going to have the Millennium Falcon was supposed to fly like vertically, and then it flipped horizontally to land, and then they realized in 1977 that they didn't have those kind of special effects. So it was something. Huh. There you go. Let's see. Jim Lee, get your copy soon. Mark Chiarello's illustrations are sublime. What are you posting, Jim? This doesn't even make sense. Okay, so you're posting about art, and it's not. Oh wait, here we go. I just backed baseball 100 on Kickstarter. Oh. Yay. I thought it was going to be something interesting. Let's see. I don't care about that. Thread of mini facepalm. I don't care about that. There's some dinosaur stuff. I follow too many uninteresting people on Twitter. And if I follow you, that doesn't mean you're uninteresting. You're not. I don't mean everyone I follow is uninteresting. But I just do follow a lot of uninteresting. Some people I follow, I go, oh, this is cool. They posted something good, and then they never post anything good again. It's like the one tweet wonder. I just made that up just now. Look, see, I can say something clever once in a while. Let's see. Ash, you angered the Lord. I guess I did. Lord says yes, but Hawkman is confusing. It's not confusing if you start from #1, Lord. Robert Venditti is a masterful writer, and I didn't know squat about Hawkman. Nothing. I used to be anti-Hawkman. People are like, oh, Hawkman. I'd be like, that's a dumb character. The only character that's more dumb than Hawkman is Aquaman. Talk to fishes. It's like, but I didn't know. And then Robert Venditti did his Hawkman run, and everyone was like, oh, it's so good. And I was like, well, whatever, it's Hawkman. And then DC decided, hey, we're going to cancel all the books that you like. Remember Super Sons? We're canceling it. Hey, you remember New Age of Heroes? We're canceling it. Oh, are you going to swap over to the other New Age of Heroes that we didn't cancel? We're going to cancel those too. We're canceling it all. And I was like, I still like DC. They're doing good books. And the problem isn't that the books are bad. The problem is that they're canceling them. So I was like, you know what? I like Robert Venditti. I don't know squat about Hawkman. Let me pick up these issues. It was only on issue 5, I think, at the time. And that's when I jumped in on issue 5. So there were 4 issues previous. I was like, these are still easy to get, like on the stands. So I picked them all up. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. The first 5 issues, pretty good. Then issue 6 came out, and I was like, oh, now you have my attention. And then issue 7 came out, and I was like, oh, Jesus. Okay, now I'm a fan. So, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is like a roller coaster ride. It's so awesome. I love this. I love this series. I love it. It takes a little bit of a dip during the whole Year of the Villain crap. Venditti was like, all right, I'll do some Year of the Villain stuff. It just, but now Hawkwoman, when Hawkwoman returns, it goes right back to being stellar again. And the story between the two, it's the best what I've said about the book is it's the best man woman companion relationship like pairing in all of comics, in my opinion. There's a lot of great, male female like relationships. I think Superman Lois Lane's good, it's fine, it's a good relationship. Spider-Man Mary Jane, but those are typically like a main character and a supporting character, and they may be partners in their own lives, but as far as the story goes, one of them is relegated to being just a side character. Reed Richards and Sue Storm might be the best other possible example, but I wouldn't put them in the same boat because too many writers constantly have to write Reed Richards as an asshole, and basically he doesn't deserve to have a woman as great as Sue Storm, and he keeps fucking up all the time. And I'm just like, I'm tired of just reading about, being the bad husband that doesn't live up to the great wife. But Hawkman, and anyways, I'm not going to go on. You read the books or you don't. I just like to share stuff I love. Let's see. Lord says, fishes are dumb. Yeah, I think that says about it. Dragon Majesty, Hawkman does rule. Just read number 24. My shop ran out of 25. Oh, I just read 24. My shop ran out of 20. Yeah, I'm loving this. It feels like issue 1 through 12 was its own like story arc. If they ever did a Hawkman movie, if I was ever in charge, if I had, I was the head of Warner Brothers and I could make a movie, I would commission like this, adapt that issue 1 through 12. That's the Hawkman movie, and then the sequel would be what's happening right now. That's it's that good to me. Let's see what else is going on in the Twitters. Hey, there's Chuck Norris, and he gives a thumbs up to something. I don't know. God, see, there's just nothing good. I just scroll and scroll and scroll. See, if you guys are like, Ash, we could have told you Twitter was nonsense. What are you doing on there? Get off. All right, move. Newsarama. There's a site that I never go to. I'm just trying to check out different comic news sites because I'm hoping to find information about comics. And what I'm learning, well, I kind of knew this already, but what I'm learning is that all these comic websites don't really talk about comics too much. But Newsarama, surprisingly, it came here. It's actually Games Radar. Newsarama is not even good enough to have its own website anymore. It's gamesradar.com/Newsarama. Fail. Anyways, yeah, they got Batman has turned seriously evil a surprising number of times. What a nothing article that is. This is an article for people who don't read comics. And people who don't read comics don't go to websites about comics. Maybe this is why you're a failure, Newsarama. Because you probably hired a person who doesn't read comics and then came up with, I don't know, death metal titles and Wonder Woman 759 sell out and are heading back to press. You know why Wonder Woman 759 sold out? Because comic book stores didn't order it. So that's probably why it sold out. That no one wants to read that trash. But apparently people collect Wonder Woman. And they gave Mariko Tamaki and Eisner for best writer. Are you kidding me? Not best writer of a certain book or best writer of best just overall writer of the entire comic book industry. Mariko Tamaki is the best writer. Not Jeff Johns, not Robert Venditti. Not even Chip Zdarsky. You know, that guy who wrote Spider-Man Life Story, probably the best Marvel comic in since the 20th century. Yeah, Mariko Tamaki. Let's see. Old ladies combat alien plants in Empire X-Men #2 preview. Oh, that sounds exciting. Uh, this is just junk. Best shots review. Wonder Woman 759 won't impress everyone, but it's a solid enough issue. Objection. Objection. I will have to make my own video as evidence against this nonsense. But we won't waste our time on that. What are you guys doing in the chat? I need some more discussion. Dragon Magic says east of west. Okay, I guess you're replying to Lord, who retracted his message. Social media platform, never use them. Read east of west. I plan on it. I bought the whole series. I just need to sit down and binge it out. Let's see. I like Wonder Woman, but comics can be preaching. Yeah, you're telling me. Speaking of preaching, and since you guys aren't really very talkative tonight, I think you guys need some comic love. Let's have a little bit of Golden Age Superman, shall we? I've been reading through this book a little bit at a time. This is a blast. You want to if you want to see what comics used to be like, if you kind of forgot or just never knew, man, just go back and read Superman #1. It's crazy. And it's fun to read. Did I lose? Wait, did I lose my place? Oh. Nope. We got a new story here. Okay. A creaking of timber, an ominous rumble, and then, with a terrific crash, the Blakely coal mine caves in, entrapping a lone miner within its terrible confines. Superman! By Jerome Siegel and Joe Shuster. Telegraph lines carry the shocking news to a stunned world. Stanislaw Kober, miner, trapped in cave-in. Please, Chief, let me handle this assignment. Go to it, Kent. Shortly later, a streaking figure speeds towards Blakely Town at a terrific pace that not even the fastest auto or airplane could duplicate. Let's get this big picture. Oh, shoot. Hold on. My dog's barking. Sorry about that intermission. Oh, man. I forgot I had the door open so the dog could go out, and then the dog decides to bark up the neighborhood, and it's kind of late. When we'll wake up the neighbors. Where were we? Upon reaching the Blakely mine, Kent, disguised as a miner, approaches the pit. There's been no signal from the rescue crew in the last 10 minutes. Back, you! Keep away from the edge. Pretending to slip, Clark tumbles into the lift shaft. Help! I'm falling! You fool! I told you to keep back! Oh. Down plunges Superman in a fall which would have meant death for an ordinary man. As Superman strikes the bottom of the shaft, he detects gas, poison gas. His physical structure unaffected by the gas, Superman continues along the mine's bottom until he stumbles upon a dozen unconscious figures. The rescue party. I'd better get them out of here before the gas finishes its deadly work. A trifle unceremonious, but the occasion demands it. Placing the men on the lift, Superman jerks the signal cord, and the elevator begins its upward journey. That's that. And now to really get to work. Upon rounding a curve in the tunnel, Superman comes upon the great wall of coal which separates him from the entrapped miner. This is going to be a mere child's play. Attacking the sturdy barrier with his bare hands, Superman proceeds to demolish it as though it were but constructed of putty. I'll have you free in a few moments. Got him! Golly, his condition is pretty serious. I've got to get him to a hospital at once. But when Superman reaches the elevator lift, the signal cord, it doesn't work. Superman commences to climb the elevator cable hand over hand. Look, down there, someone's climbing the cable. Holy mackerel, he's rising like a streak of lightning. When Superman reaches the pit's edge, get him to a hospital, quick. Gosh almighty, it's Cobra. Later, here's the dope, Chief. Cobra was rescued by an unidentified miner, but the doctors say he will be crippled for life. Next day, Stanislaw Cobra, maimed miner, receives a visitor. My name is Kent. I represent a powerful newspaper. Tell me, in your opinion, could the mine tragedy have been prevented? Sure. Months ago, we know the mine is unsafe. But when we tell bosses, foremen, they say, no quit job, Stanislaw? No like job, Stanislaw? Quit. You mean to say the owner disregarded the mine's dangerous condition? Yeah, but we no quit. Got wife, kids, bills. So back we go to mine, and long hours and little pay, and maybe to die. An hour later, Kent is admitted into the presence of Thornton Blankley, mine owner. Have you arranged a pension for the unfortunate miner who was crippled by the cave-in? Certainly not. Cobra can thank his own carelessness for his plight. However, the company will be generous enough to pay a reasonable portion of his hospital bills and may even consider offering him a $50 retirement bonus. But surely you're going to repair the bad safety conditions in the mine. There are no safety hazards in my mind. But if there were, what of it? I'm a businessman, not a humanitarian. And now, since this is all none of your business, let's consider the interview closed. That night, Superman, clad in miner's garb, drops out of the skies like some occult avenging demon into the barred and closely guarded confines of Blakely Estate, drawn by the sound of laughter, music, and revelry. He peers through a window and discovers a gay party in progress. Sorry. I've half a notion to crash this party to bits. Look, a prowler. Don't move. Got him. Superman deliberately permits himself to be captured. What are you doing here? He won't answer. Let's take him to the boss. What's the meaning of this interruption? We caught this bohunk, probably a sneak, thief, window peeping. Shall we take him to the station and rough him up? All I ask is a few minutes alone with this window peeper in the back room at headquarters, and you'll have a full confession, Mr. Blakely. What have you to say for yourself? Beautiful ladies, much music, rich party. I read of these things. Tonight I want to see them with my own eyes. I see. Just a sap. Give him a beating he'll never forget, guards. Then turn him loose. Come on, outside. Wait, I've changed my mind. Let him stay. Gather round, folks. Here's where this party starts to liven up. Now for some fun. Blakely's got one of his comical inspirations. Elsa Maxwell has nothing on Blakely when it comes to throwing a novel party. To the right, folks, you see a social climbing miner who narrowly missed having his block knocked off because he attempted to see how the other half lives. I wonder what he's leading up to. On the left, my dull-witted friend, you see a mob of pampered nincompoops whose sole activity in life is searching for new ways to escape boredom. He was referring to us. Blakely's going too far. What say, folks? Let's compromise. We'll finish the party in the mine. Our miner pal here will guide and feast his eyes on us. And as for us, we'll make merry in the bowels of the earth. Hooray! The man's a genius. On to the mine. Led by Superman, the crowd of singing, shouting, sable and evening clothes clad party goers, that's a mouthful, march gaily toward the mine. I keep saying mine. The merrymakers crowd into the shaft platform amid a thrill of laughter. A moment later, they are on their way to the pit's bottom. Look, I brought some sandwiches. To heck with the sandwiches. Who brought a flask? Isn't this thrilling? Better hold tight to that rail. On second thought, why not onto me? What has the rail got that I haven't got? Fresh. All out, end of the line. Well, folks, I promised you a new thrill. What do you think of it? Ugh, what a horrid-looking place. While the others walk further into the mine. Don't tell me people actually work down here. George, I don't like this filthy mine. We shouldn't have come. Superman drops back. Now to put a hastily conceived plan into action. And attacks the wooden tunnel supports. Superman. There, that ought to do the trick. Superman rejoins the slumming party. Where in blazes did you disappear? I've been here all the time. A moment later, the tunnel is shaken by a rumbling roar. Good Lord, what was that? Panic-stricken, the entire group races back along the tunnel until forced to come to a sudden stop. A cave-in. Great Scott, we're buried alive. Buried alive? Oh. Help me, I'm suffocating. No, you can't be. Air will last another 24 hours. Another 24 hours? Yes. Then we've nothing to worry about. We'll be freed by a rescue squad in no time. Maybe rescued in 5 minutes. Maybe never. You, this was your clever idea. Don't hit me. Steady. I've half a mind to let him loose. Don't. Wait, the safety devices. Why didn't I think of them sooner? We're as good as saved right now. Thank goodness for safety devices. Whew, for a moment, I thought we were doomed. See, I smashed the glass cover, then jerked down the electrical signal lever. Forgive me, old man. I'm sorry I flew off the handle. That's all right. What? It doesn't work. Like other safety devices in the mine, Rusty, no good. Oh, you blasted skinflint. You'd have had the mine equipped with proper safety precautions. We might have gotten out alive. Stop him. This is no time to quarrel among ourselves. Our lives are at stake. Correct. Here are some picks and shovels abandoned by workers. You, take this pick and get busy. I'm content to die. If you want to live, you dig. If we ever get out of here, my first act will be to fire you. If we get out. Knee-deep in the stagnant water, struggling with unwieldy tools, slipping frequently, falling in entrapped pleasure seekers. The entrapped pleasure seekers desperately, but vainly, to batter down the huge barrier of coal. Hurry, while the air supply lasts. We've got to get out. We've got to. I'm winded. I can't keep this up. Think of the miners. They have to do this 14 long hours each day. Meanwhile, a rescue party works frantically on the other side of the barrier. It's no use. We'll never get out of here. We'll all die. Oh, if only I had this all to do over again. I never really knew what the men down here have to face. That's all I've been waiting to hear. Eventually, tired beyond endurance, the mine's prisoners collapse limply. While the others sleep, Superman tears down the barrier, permitting miners to enter and rescue the group. Dragermen, we're saved! Mister, are we glad to see you? Hurry, there's liable to be another cave-in any second. Several days later, Kent again visits Blakely. You can announce that henceforth my mine will be the safest in the country, and my workers will be the best treated. My experience in the mine brought their problems closer to my understanding. Congratulations on your new policy. May it be a permanent one. If it isn't, you can expect another visit from Superman. The end. Hey here, fellas. Have you sent in your application blank for membership to the Superman of America? If not, turn back to the center spread of this book, fill it in, and mail immediately so that you can become one of the charter members. Nice. All right. Now, we've got some Golden Age Superman. That wasn't one of the best stories. The other ones before it were better. Let's see. How many people did I lose? Ed Brewer says Skinflint. I don't know what you're talking about. Rex says, I'm trying to find a drink strong enough to make me forget Tamaki is Writer of the Year. Oh, that's the comment of the night. All right. Well, you guys are really quiet. You must be really tired, or you're doing something else. I'm going to continue on with more comics. We're going to start with Ed Brewer's... Jeez, sorry. I keep forgetting what the book Astro City. I don't know why. So this is part 2 of a story. If you missed Tuesday's episode, it's where a guy gets power. He's a thief and he steals this amulet, but the amulet's got powers, and he also has stolen a corgi dog. And touching the amulet and the corgi touched the amulet, whatever, revealed its powers. And so now he can turn into like half man, half corgi. Anyways, he's got like superpowers and he's turned his life around to fight crime. And by the end of the issue, he's taken the dog to the vet, and it's like years have gone on, and the vet's kind of informed him. It's like, look, your dog's going to be all right, but he's 12 years old. He's only going to live a couple more years. And then the guy kind of has a rude awakening. He's like, oh, holy shit, I didn't even think about this. Like, what's going to happen when my dog dies? So, this is Astro City by Kurt Busiek and various other artists. This is a comic, if you've never read Astro City, it's a comic that's really not about a central cast of characters. It's about Astro City, which is a fictional place like Metropolis. And it's a world that has like superheroes, supervillains, all that stuff. And there's kind of like there's like a mythos. There's a group of regular sort of characters that but it's almost like Kurt Busiek made up his own comic universe. And instead of trying to have individual, like, it'd be like if there was a comic out there called DC Universe, and just every episode or every issue would just be like a story about a character in the DC Universe. That's the best way to put it, I think. So, I'm a huge dog lover. I'm an animal lover, but I'm also really particular to dogs. So when I started reading this, it has a bunch of charm, and it kind of won me over in that respect. But it's well written too. Kurt Busiek is a really good comic writer when he's not suffering from TDS. It was when I started to fly that I knew I needed answers. We'd been G-Dog for about 4 years by then. We were fighting the Mecha Nerds, a group of science fair winners who got converted into robots, and rather than figure out how to change back, they'd gone on a revenge spree. Ha! Chew on that, doggo! Heh, I said chew on that. I was hoping it was a programming glitch, because otherwise they seemed like smart kids. Anyway, they blasted me out of the 67th floor of the McDonald building, and I thought I was a goner. But, he's flying? Dogs can't fly. That's so unfair. Sorry, Mecha Nerds, but I'm gonna have to take points off for that. Scrack. Stereotyping. Rank stereotyping. A dog. We got beaten by a dog. A corgi even. We took them off to Eagle HQ. Where corgi, at least. Shut up, Brian. They said they could download the kids back into their original bodies, as long as they had the brain cases. But once we were done with that, we had to figure some things out. So that crazy amulet lets us combine, and we've got dog powers, plus I can understand animals. But where does flying come into that? Don't know. Went fast, zoom, fun. Treats now? Hank was great, but he wasn't much help. Still, I knew what I had to do. I had to go back. Yes? Back to the scene of the crime. Literally. Dog days. I'm, Andy Merton. I kind of burgled your house a few years ago. Yeah, I thought you might show up eventually. Well, come in. Look, I'm sorry about the break-in. I can't really make any excuses, but it's all right. I forgive you. It didn't go like I expected. You do? Why? Because if you hadn't come along, something else would have happened. I didn't know that then, but I know it now. I won't deny it hurt. I was mad at you for a long time. Topher, Stormhawk, I loved him dearly. And that amulet, it was one of the few things I had to remind me of him. But I know how it works, so I know what you've done with it. You and the dog. You've done good things. And reminded me the amulet belongs out there, working. Now, you must have a problem? Yeah. I mean, I thought I had dog powers because of Hank. Hank's my dog. But yesterday I flew. Ha! That must have been quite a surprise. Yes, you can fly, like Stormhawk did. That makes perfect sense. You probably have lightning powers, too, and can figure out how to access them if you try. Lightning powers? And more, perhaps. Topher, Christopher Martin, his name was, found the amulet when he was only 15. He was hiking in the Rockies west of here. He said it was like it was just there, waiting for him. He bonded with one of his hawks. He raised hawks as a hobby, You wouldn't know that, but maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why it found him. And he thought, like you, that he'd gotten the powers of the hawk, of his pet. But the amulet's old, and it seems to store the powers of every creature it's been bonded to. And not all of them were animals. Or not just animals. Wow, lightning powers? And more. You've noticed you're much stronger than a dog, I'm sure. Topher thought that might be a bear. Or something else. Look, just trust your instincts. You'll get used to it. Ha, instincts. My instincts have always been terrible, believe me. The only reason I'm any kind of hero at all is the dog. It's all the dog. If not for him, Topher would talk like that too. The animals, certain animals anyway, they bring a lot of clarity to things. But I think the amulet knows what it's doing too, who it picks and why. And it chose you. I am sure of that. We talked about Stormhawk, about the powers, about how maybe it wasn't just me choosing her house to rob. I don't know if I believe that, but who knows, maybe. And in the end, look, call any time you have more questions. It brings him back a little. And do you have someone to talk to about this? Someone who isn't a dog? It's a stressful life sometimes. Topher had me. You'd do well to have someone too. I told her I'd think about that. And, on the off chance, if you still have a pair of cufflinks, onyx in chunky silver settings, I'm really sorry. I just... The first person whose life you saved, Andy, that made up for it. More than made up for it. I'm glad you're out there. I'm glad someone is. I thought about what she said, having all the powers of everyone who'd had the amulet before me. It felt like maybe I wasn't completely half-assing it, like I was part of a tradition. And I thought about the other stuff, too. About having someone to talk to. What do you think, Hank? Should we? Good, nice, good. So? What? You're G-Dog? No way. You're too tall, and you wear pants. At least most of the time. Esme. Of course I know you're G-Dog, you dope. How could I not know? But you didn't say anything. I thought, I don't know, maybe it was some sort of hero rules or something. I figured you'd tell me when you could. But, come on. You guys sneak out, G-Dog shows up, and your face. My face? Not your face, G-Dog's face. How can I not know this adorable pupper's face? Who's the best, huh? Who's the most super dog of dogs? Off! Rough! There's more. I told her everything. The drugs, the crime, the stuff I've done. How I think maybe the only reason I'm a good person at all is Hank. I had to let it out. And when I finished, I kinda knew that too. Not the details, but I knew there was something. I knew you had secrets, maybe bad secrets, but I knew I couldn't force them out of you. I guess I just figured that you'd tell me if we were ever going to have a future. And you think we do have a future? I hope so. I really do. Whatever you were, you're a good man now. You need to believe that. After that, I felt like things had changed somehow inside me. I'd been secretive for so long, but letting it out, I wanted to share more. I wanted to let her all the way in. It felt good. Then, only a few days later, I tracked an Iron Legion cadre to their lair and was just about to lower the boom on them. Huh? Crash. Smite them, my comrades, mightily! I had no idea. Dr. Monkey, a lab animal who gained superhuman intelligence in a chemical accident, Rocket Dog, Kitty Hawk, Ghost Ferret, a lot of accidents, really. They didn't hesitate. They just plowed in. Ah! And after it was over, who are you exactly? Who are we? Who are we? Why, we're merely the snappiest, most salubrious new super team around. We call ourselves Pet Dander. This is so ridiculous. Really? No, it doesn't work, does it? I've been thinking it spoke how small. Wait, I'd been thinking it spoke of how small things could topple the mighty, but, well, the others don't talk, so it's hard to bounce ideas off them. I don't suppose you'd care to join? It'd be so nice to have another member who can speak. We could call the team Pet Patrol. I mean, it's kind of conventional, but it works. I was thinking of mashing them together. Petrol. But that just sounds like gasoline, doesn't it? I don't know. I'll let you know, okay? I could tell Hank was disappointed. He always liked hanging out with the other animals. But frankly, I was kind of hoping for an invitation from Honor Guard. Or the Irregulars or someone. Anyway, life went on. Things changed. Esme's brother decided to move to Chicago, and Esme and I actually bought the bar. And if I'd worried about owning Mac Faraday, what we owed the bank was really scary. And that wasn't the only thing we partnered up on either. Time passed. Things were good. Time passed. I was still an idiot. Hank wasn't eating, and I could feel it inside. He was tired. A lot. Always up to go out, but tired. Esme suggested I take him to the vet. I thought I'd know if he was sick, but he's a good, cheerful fella. Yeah, but he's off his feed, and he just doesn't seem to have that much energy these days. Well, he's 12, right? He's just getting older. What? Sure, he's in good shape for his age, but the corgis only live about 15 years or so. What? The vet looked at me like I was an idiot who'd never owned a dog before. And he was right to. I'd never thought about it. 15 years? I'd been so caught up in my life and being a superhero and not being a crook anymore. I was just thought it was like a fairy tale, like it was happily ever after. And all I could think of was 15 years. 3 more? What? He stayed close that whole day. And I think he did it for me, not him. You okay? It's just some dog. He talks to me, thinks at me. We've been partners, and I never thought. It's just so unfair. You don't think because he's got superpowers, maybe he has a longer lifespan? Some of the Pet Patrol, they do. So maybe? I couldn't even say all I was thinking because I didn't dare. And also because it was so damn selfish. But I think they both knew. What about me? Would I still have superpowers? Would I still be a hero without Hank? Would I still even be me? Or would I be what I used to be? And I knew, no matter how much I tried to pretend otherwise, it had all been Hank. Everything good. I didn't deserve any of this. It was all a gift. From him to me. I went to the only place I thought I might get some good advice. Topher worked on the question, yes. Tried to prepare. He talked to scientists, to mystics, about the changes to his genetics, about how the amulet worked. The amulet will reappear when one of you dies. It appeared here when Stormhawk sacrificed his life to stop Kagari Ironhand. Look, I don't mean to. No, it's okay. We'd have wanted you to know. He'd planned for it. That when Lightning died, he could bond with a new Hawk. He'd kept raising them, training them, but, well, it didn't work out that way. He and Lightning, they died together in outer space. And the amulet came back here, and it chose you. We talked all afternoon about how I should still have the powers, but the amulet could give me new powers if I bonded with new animals. That I could go beyond Hank. But did I want that? To take on a new partner? Another dog? Something else? To just replace Hank? I didn't want to even think about it. Instead, Esme and I indulged Hank. Spent as much time as we could with him. Huh, boy? You want it? You want the toy? Throw, throw, throw! And we joined Pet Patrol. Tally-ho! Roof! Dr. Monkey was calling it Fauna Force by then, but I suggested too many humans wouldn't know what it meant. Hank loved it. It was interesting for me, too, getting to know their voices, who they were. Ghost Ferret's quirky sense of humor. Kitty Hawk's sardonic reserve. Rocket Dog's enthusiasm. I say, a case! And right up our alley. And Dr. Monkey was always full of plans. The glue that kept us together. We did a fair amount of good, too. I even got so I could access Stormhawk's lightning powers against Dr. Saturday's Roborilla. I think it was because I was more relaxed, more comfortable. Ha! That's how it's done. Good show, G-Dog. When the Irregulars actually offered me membership, I declined. It seemed more important to give Hank as much joy as I could. To make their time last, however long it was. Oof, oof. But time passed. Time passes. He was almost 17 and having a hard time getting around. I thought it might be his hips. Corgis have trouble with their hips sometimes. It wasn't. The results of the biopsy are back. It's cancer, I'm sorry to say. Is there anything we can do? I'm sorry. You've got to consider his quality of life. At a time like this, he's going to be in pain, and it's going to get worse. At some point, you should probably consider... No! We're not going to put him down. We're not going to do that. Can we make him comfortable? Keep him pain-free while nature takes its course? We can, but... The vet still thought I was an idiot, valuing my feelings over what was best for Hank, but... As long as I could feel him thinking, communicating, I just couldn't. His thoughts got foggier with the pain meds, but they were still there. And that fall is good, is good. We got heard. We save, yes? We saved, yes. We saved a lot of them. And you saved me, Hank. You saved me. Is good. And he dreamed. Dreamed of all we'd done. Dreamed his pride in it all. And it faded. It came back. It came back, like she said. Should we get a puppy? Maybe not right away, but I don't know, Esme. I don't know. Stormhawk had other hawks. He would have moved on. He planned for it, but he loved hawks. I loved Hank. It didn't feel right to replace him. I still had the powers. She was right about that, too. I'd need to pick a new name, a different costume. And I knew I could pick another animal to bond with, expand my power set. I could do it over and over. But... it's like that, is it? Their voices were duller, too. A little bit, without Hank there. But I felt their sorrow. Sorrow and sympathy. Oof. Still, I wasn't really Pet Patrol anymore, was I? I could have been if I'd found another partner. Instead, I went up to the mountains. I looked for someplace wild, someplace that wasn't for humans, that wasn't built on or landscaped. I could feel their presence around me. Birds, foxes, more, a bear, I think a lynx. It felt reassuring, like they were telling me it would be okay. You know what to do, I guess, better than I do. So do it, okay? Whatever's best. And thank you. You are leaving Astro City. Please drive carefully. Damn. Holy shit, Ed. Oh my goodness, that was a powerful freaking story. Man, you did not prepare me. I was not prepared. Holy cow. That was emotional. Anyone who's ever had a dog in their life and had to go through the passing, and I still have a dog now, and she's old. She's 11 years old. So a lot of this book, it really hit close to home. Wow, that was amazing. That was the best dog comic I've ever read. I mean, that was a story completely about a dog and its owner, but put in the world of comics. Like it really wasn't about being a superhero. It was really about having a dog change your life. And Kurt just used superheroes as a backdrop to tell this story. And oh, wow. Whew. Holy cap. Rayek says, I'm getting teary-eyed because it reminds me of my dog. Yeah, me. That was tough to read. I was trying to read it out loud and not get choked up. I mean, parts of it worked to be choked up because the character was choked up, and so it played off. But wow. Whew. And Melissa's back just in time. Melissa, you missed a really powerful. Ooh, that was, man. I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh boy. Oh, that was Ed. Bravo, props to you. It was a great recommend. I'm so glad. I would have never probably read that comic. Well, that's not true. I do like Astro City, so I might have gotten around to reading it eventually, but I'll give you the credit anyway, because I had no immediate plans to read it, and you made it cross my path. And that's one of the beauties I love, just talking with other comic fans and hanging out and stuff like this and talking comics, because there's just so many comics out there. You can't read them all, right? And relying on each other to kind of guide us and say, hey, try this, and help us avoid. I mean, 90% of the stuff out there is just garbage. Even if it's not garbage, just mediocre, meh. To find that good stuff out there. How many people have never read this comic and never will? Because they just don't know of its existence. And if you look at the cover, you're just like, oh, look, it's a goofy corgi guy on I don't want to read this. I look at the cover and I go, this looks stupid. Until you read it and see what it's all about, and you go, oh, wow, that was amazing. Whew. Well, I don't know if everyone else was just choked up or whatever. There's not a lot of chit chat going on like some of the comics I read. Wow. Ed says, glad you liked it. Yeah, man. I really, really, really did. That's Kurt Busiek. Man, it sucks that he went all freaking ape shit in 2016, because that dude is a great comics writer. He understands that old school classic aspirational style of comic writing, like DC heroes. I would love to see he would be able to write such a great Justice League or JSA or Superman. Jeez, can you imagine? We got Bendis writing shit right now, Whew. Anyways, I kind of was hoping for a little bit of a breather between books, but you guys aren't talking about much, and it's hard for me to carry the show by myself. Don't have much of a crowd tonight because Englentine decided to run an auction during my show, so we share kind of a similar audience. So some people are over there following that stream. So any of you guys that are here, I appreciate, giving me some reason to do this. So Tuesday, I read the first episode, Days of Future Past. You've probably read this comic. This is one of the most famous comics in all of Marveldom. I hadn't read it in over 20 years, and it was just as good, if not better, than I remembered. This book is so good. And the reason I picked this was because while it's fun to read books that I've never read before, like just now, I love getting to experience something new, especially like live. I get to, submit my reaction. You just get to see it. I also like to share the things that really mean something to me, that really spoke to me. And this is one of those books. This is one of my all-time favorite X-Men stories. One of the reasons I love X-Men. And so, Melissa says he wrote Marvels, Kurt Busiek, that is. It's sad. He went nuts. Yeah, he did. Marvels is also one of my favorite comics. So without further ado, we'll get into X-Men number 142, and I hope I can do it some justice. Stan Lee presents The Uncanny X-Men. This is a tale of two worlds, and of the child woman who sought to save them. Mind out of time. 1980. The Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm, Angel, Sprite, and Nightcrawler, face off against the newly reconstituted Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in a hearing room of the United States Senate. 2013, the remnants of that self-same super team of mutant superheroes fight for their lives against the nigh irresistible might of the Sentinels in a last-ditched attempt to save their world from imminent nuclear Armageddon. And linking these two worlds, these two desperate battles, is Catherine Pryde. In her hands lies the fate of mutant kind, of humanity, of the earth itself. Failure is unthinkable, yet success may well be impossible, for she seeks to change history. Of the original Brotherhood, only the Blob remains, joined now by the blind precog Destiny who can foresee the future, Pyro, master of the living flame, Avalanche, whose touch disintegrates inanimate objects, and the group's leader, the mysterious shape changer called Mystique. Senator Kelly is fond of speaking against the mutant menace. My colleagues and I are that menace incarnate, as an example of our dread power, as an object lesson to those who would oppose us. We intend to kill him. Stand aside, X-Men, or suffer the consequences. You want Kelly, Mystique? You'll have to go through us to get him. This is monstrous. How dare you freaks turn the United States Senate into a battlefield? How dare you threaten me? Marshals, arrest those people. Kelly, you're either the bravest man I've ever seen or the dumbest. Either way, you're gonna die today. That's enough out of you, fatso. You and your muty playmates have gone too far this time, and you're gonna pay for it. Come along quietly, all of you, or else. Ooh-wee, you got me shaking in my boots, cop. Chump, you're talking to the Blob. Young. No power on Earth can move me if I don't want to be moved, and no force on Earth can harm me. You're a real terror against ordinary people, Blob. Let's hope the X-Men prove as easy to deal with. beams of force hammer out from Avalanche's hands, giving the marble floor liquid fluidity and sending it flowing towards the far end of the room like a tidal wave. Nightcrawler reacts first, using acrobatic skills honed by a lifetime in the circus to keep his balance on the swiftly tilting floor. Then he attacks in a style uniquely his own. He teleports, materializing again and again right behind Avalanche. I can punch faster and disappear far faster than you can react, Erlawin. Even your armor won't protect you for long against a fearsome assault. Avalanche, strike to your left. That is where Nightcrawler will reappear. Woof! So, Colossus, you've the power to transform yourself into some form of metal. I wonder, can that metal melt? I do not know. I do not intend to find out. This Englishman has created a hand of fire. It is grabbing me. That's a fancy flamethrower you're packing, bub. I wonder what'll happen if I punch my claws through the fuel tank and into your stinking hide. Wolverine's retractable claws are forged of antimantium, the strongest metal known, and he has no compunction about using them. Wolverine, don't! Storm, have you flipped? What do you think you're doing? The X-Men's newly appointed team leader ignores Wolverine's impassioned protests as she uses her elemental powers to simultaneously create a whirlwind that yanks Wolverine away from Pyro and a torrential blast of rain to douse the flame. I'm just botching this all up. Let me start over. To simultaneously create a whirlwind that yanks Wolverine away from Pyro and a torrential blast of rain to douse the flame hand around Colossus. Nice move, Storm. With the country's growing anti-mutant sentiment, the last thing we need is Wolvie carving someone up, even if it is a villain. Angel, find Senator Kelly. He must be protected at all costs. Nearby, scrambling for their lives, are the X-Men's founder and mentor, Professor Charles Xavier, and his colleague in mutant research. Also, his one-time love, Moira McTaggart. Charles, what the devil is happening? It's almost too fantastic to believe. Somehow, the mind and persona of the adult Cape Pride from 30 years in the future has psychically exchanged places with that of her teenage self. The body of Sprite is inhabited by the consciousness of the woman she will one day become. That's daft! Moira, I telepathically scanned her mind. It is the truth. Professor Xavier, let's get you and Dr. McTaggart out of here. That's the first sensible suggestion I've heard all morning. Charles, if you're right, if time travel is possible, as a result of history, if as a result history is immutable, we'll have to redefine our concept of reality itself. We'll never be completely sure of what is from one moment to the next. That's frightening. Perhaps. You'll be safe here. Thank goodness. Wait, Moira, I sense some sort of energy field around this woman. She is not what she seems. Arg. You spotted the electric dampener field which kept you from reading my mind, Xavier. Until it was too late to do you any good. That shot of nerve gas instantly paralyzed you. Now deprived of your telepathic guidance, with only the woefully inexperienced Storm to lead them, the X-Men will be fatally crippled. You are my most dangerous foe, Xavier. I should kill you while I have the chance. But for the moment, I think, you're more of a use as a potential hostage. How fares our future, Destiny? I am not sure. Behind a certain point, the images become jumbled, difficult to read. There is a random factor present, Mystique, an anomaly that strikes to the very heart of this time stream. So long as it exists, nothing is certain. I've tried to pinpoint it without success. No matter. With or without your foreseeing help, my friend, the Brotherhood will prevail. And speaking of Destiny's temporal anomaly, something's gone terribly wrong. My presence here hasn't changed a blessed thing. Have I endured and gambled so much, only to fail? Kate Pryde's thoughts twist forward across the decades to her home. A North America ruled by sentinels, giant super-sophisticated robots programmed to stamp out mutant kind. By the turn of the century, virtually every mutant, superhero, and supervillain in the United States and Canada had been either slain or imprisoned. Now the Sentinels prepared to expand their operations to the rest of the world. Other nations, however, viewed that as an act of war. To head off that world, destroying confrontation, the few surviving X-Men, joined now by Magneto, hatched a desperate plan. The seminal event that led to the Sentinels' recreation was the eve assassination of presidential candidate Robert Kelly by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Prevent that act of terrorism and, hopefully, the Sentinels would never come into being. The time switch had been made, and the X-Men persuaded to rush to Washington to block the Brotherhood's attack. But as the battle wears on, Kate realizes bitterly that history is proving harder to change than she had anticipated. In that future, the four people whom Kate Pryde loves most slowly, carefully pick their way through the ruins of Midtown Manhattan. Wolverine, Storm, and Rachel are the truest friends she could ever have wished for. But Peter Rasputin, Colossus, is her beloved husband. For Kate, the most terrible irony of their plan is that, if it succeeds, the love she and Peter shared might vanish along with the Sentinels. But the risk, the potential loss, was accepted. There was simply no alternative. Hold it. Another patrol. The Sentinels are busy tonight. Not surprising, considering I successfully busted you out of your South Bronx concentration camp, thrashing more than our fair share of Sentinels in the process. They'll be expecting us to try to make contact with my outfit, the Canadian Resistance Army. They won't be expecting an attack on their main headquarters, the Baxter Building. If we knock that out, we'll hamstring their operation across the entire continent. We'll have to hit it hard and fast. I will take the lead, Logan. Okay, Aurora. Good luck. My friend, I stopped believing in luck the day I saw my parents slain before my eyes, while I survived. All my life I've flown with death. I, who once swore never to kill, have killed. And if I must, I will kill again. In my own way, I've become as hard, as ruthless, as merciless as Wolverine. I've become so numb I can't even hate myself anymore. If anything, my soul feels tired. But so long as breath remains within me, I will do what must be done. Raw energy flows through Storm, automatically shaped and focused by her mind and her mutant metabolism, manifesting itself at last as an awesome, irresistible bolt of lightning. Squawk! The Sentinel never knows what hits it. Gong. Rachel, you remain here to protect Kitty as best you can. I wish I knew how Kate is faring in the past. Why is it taking so long? I don't know, Colossus. Our world may not change at all. Instead, Kate's action could create an entirely different timeline, an alternate parallel Earth. So the time switch could be a wasted effort. Great. Wolverine, I'm sorry. I just don't know. Storm, these doors are locked. You'll have to gimmick the locks and alarms. There we are, Wolverine. It seems I haven't lost my touch. It was a lifetime ago when I was a street urchin in Cairo, being trained as a thief by Ahmed El-Gabar. Those were hard days, but happy ones, though I was happier still years later in Kenya. The urchin became the goddess Aurora, the weather witch, who used her mutant powers to help the local villages. I wish I was there. I wish I was that child again. I might as soon as well wished for the moon. The coast is clear, my friends. In the Baxter Building, the old HQ of the Fantastic Four contains some of the most sophisticated electronics lash-ups on Earth. That's why the Sentinels chose it as their primary base. But it's a base with an Achilles heel. If our intelligence reports are accurate and the housekeeping system still operational, this electric eye beam in my buckle should activate the FF's private elevator. Bingo! All aboard. Next stop, the roof. And the fight of our lives. Nervous, Aurora? A bit. My claustrophobia, confined spaces still puts me on edge, and I can't help thinking that it wouldn't take much to turn this tiny box into a death trap. Washington, 1980. The X-Men are losing. I want to help, but I dare not. The news reports of Kelly's assassination made no mention of precisely who killed him. It might have been any one of the Brotherhood. Like it or not, my duty lies with the Senator, my place by his side. I'm certainly justifying Xavier's death in naming me team leader. Xavier's faith in naming me team leader. My debut rapidly turning into a debacle. Cyclops could do a far better job. But Cyclops is not here. I did not want this position, but now that I have it, I do not intend to fail. We are hampered by the cramped space of the hearing room and by our attempts to protect the innocent bystanders trapped in here. More than anything else, we need some fighting room. With that thought, Storm calls up a hurricane blast of wind, catching all combatants by surprise and hurling most of them out of the Capitol building and into the Great Mall. Good grief, that sound. Someone's bombed the Capitol. Yeah, and it was probably the White House that did it. Joni, those are the X-Men. What a story. I've got to phone this into the paper. Rick, Senator Kelly's committee was holding hearing today. Do you think they're all right? Before the young woman's frantic question can be answered, another shockwave rocks the mall. The explosion of fist against armor. Whammo! As Colossus discovers that where the Blob is concerned, he is a far from irresistible force and a very movable object. I told you, Rusky. Unless I decided I wanted to move, no force on Earth can move me. But that ain't all I can do. I've been training myself to manipulate my mass. I've just made my body so dense it can squash even you flat. Cthulhu. That may be so, Blob, if you land on me. I've been hitting him as hard as I can to no effect. It's like punching a body made of porridge. Perhaps the impact has stunned. By the white wolf! Surprise, Sonny! Remember, I not only can't be moved, I can't be hurt either. Shoot! I could probably trash all you new X-Men all by my lonesome. Unnoticed by either the X-Men or the Brotherhood, an Army Fast Reaction Special Weapons team has arrived from Fort Myers. Major, who are the good guys and who are the bad? Who do we shoot at? It doesn't matter, Sergeant. Thrash them all. We'll sort out the details later. Concussion cannon, fire! The energy weapon, built by Shaw Industries, its design derived from the same principles as Iron Man's legendary repulsor rays, strikes to deadly effect. Colossus, look out! Zerk. Urg! That's one down. Let's see if we can't persuade the others that their fighting days are over. Tsk. A bad move. Gentlemen, using fire against one who can shape those flames into anything he chooses and then turn them against you. I trust you all have adequate pensions. Your families will soon need them. Sarge! The soldiers are paralyzed with fear. Even if they ran, Pyro's beastie would fry them before they got a dozen steps. I'm the better target, the more dangerous foe. I've got to catch Pyro's attention, draw his creature after me. Angel's ploy works, in a way. While the fire demon reaches for the retreating Angel, Pyro sees that his comrade is in trouble, and one fire monster splits into two. What's the matter, bub? If you're so invulnerable, how come you're scared of my claws? With the speed of thought, the demon lashes out. Only seconds to act. Even Wolverine's mutant fast healing ability can't cope with the damage that Flame Hand will do. Pyro's fire monster is huge. I'll need a considerable amount of power to counter it, and I'll have to do it on the first pass. Wolverine won't survive long enough for me to try a second. In the blink of an eye, Storm climbs high enough above the mall, gathering speed and strength as she goes. In another blink, she slams down through the heart of Pyro's creation, blasting it apart with a massive wedge of air that hits with the force of a battering ram. Wolverine, mein verrucht friend, are you alright? I'll live, elf. The fireproof, unstable molecules of my costume shielded me from most of the flames, and my fast healing ability's already dealing with the burns. I owe Storm, pal. A few more seconds and I'd have been a goner. Oh man, Crawler, this hurts. For you to admit that, Wolverine, you must be in agony. Let me help. What the devil? Wolverine, beware! That's not me. I'm me. One of the Brotherhood must be a shape-changer. Whoever you are, villain, you've just bitten off more than you can chew. I like being unique. I don't take kindly to doppelgangers. Neither do I. This is crazy. Which is which? I'm still too woozy from my burns. My senses can't tell them apart. But I figure the real Nightcrawler ought to be able to teleport out of range of my claws. Wolverine, sheath your claws. Not a chance. We're in the middle of a fight, Storm, and I'm in no mood for a debate. Sheath them, or use them on me. That can be arranged, babe. Goddess, he means it. I am the leader of the X-Men. While that is so, you will use your claws when I command, no other time. I wouldn't take that from Cyclops. You will take it from me. You possess speed, strength. Your unbreakable adamantium skeleton makes you nearly invulnerable. You should not need your claws, except in the most extreme of situations, against the deadliest and most powerful of foes. All right, Storm. I'll do it your way, for now. But this conversation ain't finished, not by a long shot. Snacked. Lady, since you and your pine-sized pal would obviously much rather feud than fight, it seems only fair that I send you far away from here, where you can do it in peace. Avalanche! Grab my hand, Wolverine. I'll fly you to safety. If you hadn't chosen such a stupid moment to get squeamish, lady, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. What about Nightcrawler? Who's gonna help him? I want no help, Wolverine. I intend to finish this fight on my own. Pyro's flame demon has given up on me. He's endangering more soldiers. I've got to airlift him out of the way. Wolverine, come with me. I need your assistance to defeat Blob. Fine by me, bub. I'm in a mood to defeat someone. The bigger, the better. The Blob boasts that no power on Earth can move him. But suppose we move the Earth he stands on. Like Archimedes said, pal. Give me a big enough lever and I can move the world. It's smart of Petey to use me as the fulcrum of his lever. That eye beam will crack before my adamantium steel bones will. Yo! You got him in the air, Colossus. What are you going to do when he comes down? You're going to die, Rusky. That's a promise. I intend to prove that no matter how awesome the Blob thinks his power has become, Colossus will not be crushed by him, by anyone. Crumb. Blob! Oh no! One sec. I had to take a drink, sorry. Excellent, Peter. That's 2 of the opposition beaten. Angel rescued those soldiers. Now to deal with Pyro. He thinks himself protected by his flame creature. He forgets that while fire burns anything, water douses fire. It takes virtually all her strength of body and will, not merely to create the storm, but more importantly to control it. And to do so, she warps weather patterns for miles around the District of Columbia. She creates a monsoon, confining it to a tiny section of the mall. Hit by this raw, primal elemental force, neither the fire demon nor the man who brought it into being can stand against it very long. 3 of the Brotherhood are down. Now a 4th joins them. Perhaps. Globich, you're a mystique. Your skin, your eyes. If this is indeed your true form, mein Gott, we are so alike. Could it be, Kurt Wagner, that you are not so unique as you once thought? You know my name? Who are you? Ask your mother, Margulies Zardos. Who would know better than she? Vamoose, buddy. The army's got Blob, Avalanche, and Pyro in custody, and they're looking to add the X-Men to their collection. Angel, no, we can't leave just yet. Or if we leave, we take Mystique with us. Some of the things she said, I must learn the answers, the truth. But when the German-born mutant turns to face his foe, she has disappeared. With her shape-changing power, she can transform herself into anyone she pleases. I'll never find her. I underestimated the X-Men, but never again. The Brotherhood will be rebuilt stronger than ever, and when the time is right, the X-Men will die. I'll generate a fog to cover us while we change back to our civilian identities. We'll rendezvous at the airport. I'll make sure the Professor and Moira are unharmed. It's too bad you revealed your identity, Wings. The feds are going to try and crucify you for this caper. That, short stuff, is why I employ the best lawyers in the country. Storm! All of you, wait! What about Sprite? Why has she not joined us? And Destiny, the last of the Brotherhood, where is she? Wouldn't Sprite still be protecting Senator Kelly? Of course. Oh no. 2013. We've arrived, troops. So far, so good. So far, Logan, we have done little good. Destroying a few sentinels will not save the world. That's so, Aurora. But zapping this baby here ought to gum up the works something fierce. He's Omega Series, a low number, one of the executive cadre, and he's all mine. Give me a fastball special, Petey. I'll gut that sucker from head to hips. Summoning all of his considerable strength, Colossus hurls his friends toward the seemingly unsuspecting sentinel. Wolverine takes off like a runway missile, but fast though he flies, the sentinel reacts a fraction faster. Pathetic organic being. Are you so arrogant as to believe you could even approach, much less penetrate our innermost sanctum undetected? Not so. You are here because we allowed you to be here. The better to terminate you. Yield, X-Men, or suffer a similar fate. Never! Squawk. Sentinel Omega 5 has been terminated. Additional Alpha combat units respond to this location immediately. We may be hurt, Sentinel, but we are not beaten. We have faced greater odds and triumphed. Terminate one Sentinel. Terminate 1,000. It makes no difference. Our numbers are too great. Eventually, mutants, we will overwhelm you. Storm! I've toppled him! Freeze him! With a tremendous effort, Storm surrounds the Sentinel with a fearsome blizzard, dropping its surface temperature to far below zero in a matter of seconds, making its metal skin dangerously brittle. One punch from Colossus will shatter it. While she concentrates on this robot, she counts on her airborne maneuverability to protect her from its companion. This time, she hopes in vain. Peter! Aurora! Peter Rasputin was ever a gentleman, a man of peace, a man who, like the woman he holds in his arms, thought life the most precious of gifts, and love the most precious celebration of that gift. Aurora was a sister to him, the best friend he ever had, and he finds that her death is unendurable. Boom! His hands red with her blood, he screams, and moments later, when he feels himself gripped by a murderous berserker fury to rival Wolverine's, he welcomes it. On the street far below, tears stream down Rachel's face, but she makes no move to wipe them away. Instead, she holds the unconscious body of Catherine Pryde Rasputin, within which resides the mind and soul of Kitty Pryde, tighter to her breast. In my mind, I felt Aurora and Logan die. I can feel Peter's rage. I want to break contact, but I can't. I don't want Peter to be alone when he's dead so quickly. Funny, I've experienced death so often in the minds of others, yet I'm terrified of dying myself. If Kate's body dies here, will her mind be trapped in the past? If so, I wish her a happier life than the one she's lived. We did all we could, my darling Kate. Now it's up to you. 1980. The blind precog, Destiny, has Senator Kelly cornered, but if she can psychically scan the future, why hasn't she spotted me? Unless the time switch has made me somehow invisible to her prescient abilities. My colleagues have been defeated, Yet victory will still be ours with your death. Murdering me will accomplish nothing. True, people will fear mutants as they fear all terrorists. But they won't be cowed by that fear. They'll fight back. They'll destroy you, Destiny. Possibly, but you are a greater threat alive. Do not try to evade my crossbow bolt, Senator. I will sense your plans in a heartbeat before you even formulate them, and fire wherever you are going to be. I wouldn't give you the satisfaction if I got on... I wouldn't give you that satisfaction. If I got on my hands on you, mutant, I'd probably break your neck. But I won't run. Destiny laughs softly and tightens her finger on the trigger. But as Destiny fires, Kate phases wraith-like through her, calling upon her decades of training and experience to act as her child self could not. My mind! The temporal anomaly, a part of me, consuming me. Senator, duck! She wills her shoulders to become solid, bashing the other woman's arm and throwing her off aim. In that split second, an abyss opens within Kate Pride. Reality twists inside out, and suddenly she becomes face to face with herself as a child. So innocent, so vulnerable, so young. Impulsively, she gives herself a kiss and lets the winds of eternity sweep her home. Sprite, are you all right? Senator Kelly, have you been harmed? Who are you, young woman? Who is this child? Storm, where am I? This isn't the danger room. I feel awful. I am Storm, leader of the X-Men, and I suspect this child is the person who just saved your life. Mutants, like people, are both good and bad. You would do well to remember that, Senator, before you seek to condemn us all. Storm. Professor, the authorities are coming. We must leave. We will rendezvous at Angel's private aircraft. Xavier? Dr. McTaggart? Thank heaven you're all right. Have no fear, my dear friend. Neither you nor the Brotherhood will be in prison for long. This, Mystique swears. Destiny captured as well? I think I read that out of order. Later, en route to the Westchester, New York mansion that serves both as Professor Xavier's school for gifted youngsters and the secret headquarters for the X-Men, Professor X explains all that has transpired to a dumbfounded Kate. You remember nothing after blacking out in the danger room? Nope. Except, I think I felt someone kiss me just before I woke up. Perhaps it is for the best. I think if I knew my future, I would spend my life trying to change it. You said you mis-scanned me, Professor. What did you find out? Or you mind-scanned. You mind-scanned me, Professor. What did you find out? About me, I mean. That Kate Pride is as delightful and admirable as a person as Kitty Pride. The rest you will discover in due course. Professor, we saved Senator Kelly. Kitty's mind has been returned to her body. Does that mean we changed the future? I do not know, Warren. Cliché though it sounds, only time will tell. Epilogue. A month has passed, and Senator Kelly's committee has finished its hearings and submitted its report to the president. Now, on a chill December evening, both Kelly and his good friend, industrialist Sebastian Shaw, who, unbeknown to Kelly, is both a mutant and a supervillain himself, are summoned to the White House. Come in, Robert Sebastian. I won't brandy words, gentlemen. I've received your report, Robert. Its recommendations are dangerous. They may be unconstitutional, even criminal. A draconian attitude for someone who owes his life to the mutant X-Men. A life that was threatened initially, Mr. President, by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. If there were no mutants, period, my life would not have been threatened at all. There's also the national security aspect, sir. An anti-government group of superpowered beings, mutant or otherwise, or such a group in the service of a foreign enemy, would be a serious threat to our nation. I realize that, Sebastian. For the moment, my actions, will remain top secret and covert in nature. The operation is codenamed Project Wide Awake. Allow me to present the man who will head it. Henry Peter Girich. He will be responsible to me alone, and his authority on the matter will be absolute. Your first priority, Henry, will be to work with Shaw Industries to design and construct a new series of robot sentinels. You'll have them, sir, and you have my word. This mutant controversy will be resolved. If we find them to be a threat to this republic, a threat to the world, a threat to the human race, they will be dealt with. Permanently. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I want to take a notice of something back what they used to do. Notice how you don't see the face of the president? If this was a comic book today, that would be President Trump, and he'd be the bad guy. But this, they didn't politicize it. It's just a fictitious president. You could put anyone's face there. I really respect that. This is so good. All right. That is the end of our main event book for the evening. Let's see. Do you guys have anything to say in the chat while I was reading? Not too much. It's a slow night tonight. Let's see. Melissa's making comments. Blob is a fat fuck. I miss this Wolverine. Yeah, me too. This was Claremont's Wolverine was the best. And Frank Miller really took him over the edge when they collaborated together to do the Wolverine miniseries. That to me is the ultimate Wolverine. Ryux the Sorry Ash is not the book. Just worked really hard today. Okay. Oh, you're saying night. Okay. Well, I don't know if you're still here, but night, I guess. Let's see. Melissa says fucking Krakoa muties. Yeah, these X-Men are so different than what's going on in Krakoa. Like, this is night and day. People tell me like, oh, Jonathan Hickman knows the X-Men better than anyone. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Ed Brewer says not Obama's face. Anyways, that was fun. Both of those books, I'm really glad I got to read Days of Future Past again. It's such a good story. It's even better when you realize that this was written 40 years ago. A lot of the stuff that's in that book we take for granted today because it's been so copied. One of the first things that I'm reminded of is Terminator. I suspect that James Cameron borrowed a lot from that story to do his Terminator. There's so many similarities, like how the future X-Men crash the main headquarters and they're about to, have everything go down. There's like even the word Terminator or terminate they use in there. There's just so much that I'm just like, man, this is, I'm pretty sure, because this came out quite a few years. This was, I believe, in the 70s. This book came out, or maybe 1980. I'm pretty sure it was before Terminator, though. So anyways, you guys have anything, final last words to talk about? Anything to say? Nothing to say. I don't know what I'm going to be reading next, starting on Sunday. But Ed, I want to thank you one more time for sending me the recommendation in my DMs. By all means, if you have any other recommendations you want to send, or anyone else has any recommendations they want to send, my DMs are open on Twitter. If you don't use Twitter, I don't blame you. You can also send them to me on my Discord. And if you don't want to use the Discord, you can leave them as comments on my YouTube channel. I pretty much try to read every single comment. I do my best. So with that, I guess it's midnight here. It's a good time to exit. Dragon Majesty, good night to you. And everyone else that was in the chat, whether you spoke up or you were looking in the background, thank you for being here. And I hope that you got some enjoyment